Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another IQI Canada's Evening Talk, where we talk about Juwai IQI packages and why you should have them. Today, once again, I have our dear Ardavan with me, the marketing coordinator of Canada. And how you doing, Ardavan?
I'm doing wonderfully, Azam. How are you?
Wonderful. I'm doing perfectly. I'm really. It's a great morning here. Waking up pretty, refreshed. And today we're going to be talking about that awesome agent packages that you've been telling us more about.
Right.
And I want to start that with the first question that we always ask, and that is, what does Juwai mean?
Sure. Juwai is actually a Chinese word which means home outside or home abroad or home away from home, however you want to interpret that. And, that's really a reflection on who we are and what we stand for and what we do, right? We aim to build a bridge between our foreign international clientele and the properties that they are so desperate to engage in, either to invest or to purchase for themselves. So that's what Juwai does. That's what Juwai means.
That's perfect. It's the best meaning for what we do, and it just sits well. And of course, there's another thing that everybody, people say Juwai, and then they see Juwai IQI. So let's talk about what Juwai IQI is and what happened. How did it come to be?
Hello, Ray. How are you doing? Sure. Yeah.
Hello, Ray.
Juwai and IQI both actually started as their own separate companies about 10 years ago. Each of us are celebrating our 10th birthday this year. Now, Juwai started as the marketing and the market research side of things, and the prop tech side and the technological side of things, where IQI started to deliver on the actual hard properties. Now, IQI is actually a chain of brokerages, mostly scattered about Southeast Asia, but we're in about 18 countries around the world, and the numbers are growing. You and I both know that.
Yeah.
And so in 2019, we merged, which means this year, in a few very short weeks, we're actually going to be celebrating our 30-year anniversary together. So, yay!
And the cool thing is, we say 18, but just a little thing between us, there's more coming.
When is there never more coming?
There's always more coming. That is true. And we do, and honestly, we do welcome it. So if you are out there in your own country, and you're sitting down and you're wondering, why do I not have a Juwai IQI right now? You can contact us. You can let us know, and then we'll talk you through it and how you can have a branch of Juwai IQI in your own country. All right. So just give us a contact and let us know.
For sure.
And of course, there's this tsunami of outbound investments coming in from China, and Artie, tell us about how this came to be and how insane this whole outbound investment is.
Oh, insane is hardly the word. So I think I want to say in about 2010, we started to notice this pretty decent pot of investment coming out of China and the greater ASEAN. Now, that was to the tune of about 5 billion USD, right? But you go to 2011 and that 5 billion has, through some stroke of luck, just gone on to about $11 billion. Yeah, that's more than 100% increase. And then you follow that trail of money from 2011 all the way up to 2018. That 11 billion has gone up to almost 130 billion USD worth of outbound investment from China. And exactly, it's absolutely crazy, as you said. And it's really just a reflection on how big Juwai and IQI have grown over the years as well. I mean, Juwai IQI is now the fastest growing and one of the largest growing prop tech companies out there. Juwai, just the site Juwai, gets about 5.5 million active users visiting the website every single month. We list in about 198 countries across the world. Our visitors come from 111 of those countries. Where do we not have our hands outreached here?
And the cool thing is, in the beginning, I stopped counting in the beginning of the year because, we had about 15,000 agents, just as a base. But now every month we're getting 1,400. Sorry, 1,400. Sorry, 14,000. Okay, 1,400 agents. 14,000 was a little bit. 1,400. That would be the right way to say it. So we're actually getting that amount of agents each month, and that is crazy.
Whoa.
So imagine that 15. I need to recount that. I'll get back to you guys next week.
Sure.
But 1,400 a month is insane. And this is internationally. So it's a really, really, really good outcome from what happened between Juwai and IQI coming up together. And it's good to have like these agents on there on spot, because we want to have the idea before about Juwai IQI is that we want online and offline.
Absolutely.
We want both of them, both yin and yang. We want all of that, as we always
Absolutely.
do. So, Ardi, what promoted this whole investment, outbound investment craze when it started happening? Hi, Yusuf.
Hey, Yusuf, how are you doing? Well, yeah, as I said, so it really started with what China calls the Belt and Road Initiative. Now, that's really the government's bid to enhance global outreach of its own Chinese citizens to basically invest as far and wide outside of their province and outside of China as possible. And I think we're not entirely sure what their target investment pot is, but their target year, I believe, is 2039. I want to say, or 2049. Which anyway marks the 150th anniversary of the People's Republic of China. So it's a great ambition to have in mind, and I must say they're well on their way in terms of the amount of money that they've got and the technological expertise that they've got to actually achieving it. So
that's very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
How are you doing?
Oh, Leanne, morning. Haven't spoken to her in a while.
Sherry Olsen, it is so nice to have you with us.
How are you Sherry, how are you doing? Very nice.
Sherry, just a brief little word for you. If you do have any questions during this talk at all, please feel free to leave a comment below. We will get to answering that right now. Okay?
100%. 100%. We welcome all questions. So please do ask when you have the time. And of course, why should real estate agents actually get these packages? Because we do offer these packages, and I've seen a lot of people after these talks that we have coming in and asking for it, and I've actually gone to ask them some feedbacks. But of course, what do you say in terms of why they should get these?
I think the bigger question to ask is, why do you need this international listing portal such as Juwai.com? So for those of you who don't know, China unfortunately has this barrier to information because they do not use any of the websites that we on the other side of the world would typically use. They have their own version of everything. So for example, instead of Google, they have
Baidu.
Exactly. Instead of WhatsApp, they have.
Sorry again?
Instead of WhatsApp, they have.
Oh, WeChat, yeah.
Yes, good for you.
We're turning it into a quiz now.
So essentially, they would not have access to sites like, Realtor.ca or MLS or any of the places that we would normally upload our properties. So they want to invest outside of their own country. They want to invest outside of their own province, but they have no idea where these properties are. They have no idea what's available or where it's located, right? So the only way to get around that is to have this truly international listing portal such as Juwai.com, and that is essentially where the website comes in. And I have to say, regarding our market outreach, it's probably easier to tell you where we haven't gone and who hasn't covered us in terms of media. I mean, we've been covered by CBC and CNN and Wall Street Journal and New York Times, and we translate, we've reached our clientele in at least 20, if not more, different languages across the world. And I think the one thing that I really want to stress is that we've really enlisted the trust of our clientele. Now, as I said, Juwai gets about 5.5 million active users every single month to its website, right? But more importantly, if you Google something, or if you Baidu something in China for Juwai, the way this works is that Juwai is the only international portal out there that has a consistently 5-star ranking. Everyone else is 4 stars and below. And in terms of the number of pages that are indexed every time you search through Juwai, Juwai generates about 37 million indexed pages, where everyone else combined gives you just about 2.7. So, in terms of how popular we are as compared to the others, I really, think the numbers speak for themselves. And
Can't even
Yeah.
compare it. That's the funny part. You can't even compare
We do have
it.
a question, Sherry. Thank you very much for asking. My
Nice.
question is, the video said it reaches other audiences other than Asia. Can you share how big a reach, stats, etc., that you have to other areas than Asia?
We
Um,
can.
yes. So Sherry, as we said, we reach our clients are sitting in about 111 countries across the world. Our properties are listed in 198. So, there's really people sitting in almost all four corners of the globe that, if they want to invest in a foreign property, chances are they are going to go through Juwai.com. Dante, if you have anything to add to that?
Basically, yeah, that's it. And we have clients coming in from Greece, Russia, Portugal, like a lot of different like areas in the world. Like every corner basically has like people coming in, and these are not. So we do say that it is like Chinese investors coming in, but that's not the only investors. A lot of ASEAN investors are doing it as well because our Hong Kong side, which is the so we basically cover it all round, not only inside the Great Firewall. Yes, it's called the Great Firewall of China, but also with the help of our Hong Kong team and also our teams, like the marketing team and headquarters for IQI, we cover every basis, every face from Facebook to Kiki to like Baidu to Google to everything. It's an all-round thing. So like not only Chinese investors, but also investors in ASEAN and other countries do also go through these listings to find really good investment opportunities. And yeah, so I'm actually like managing a few accounts in Dubai as well, and they are selling some really, really luxury, high-end, investment product, and they're doing quite well with the packages that are offered.
Well, if it's Dubai, it has to be luxury, high end, right?
I know, right? And oh, by the way, you did say like international and like the languages that you've mentioned as well. We had this event called the Adapt International Convention, which really speaks about like how Juwai IQI gives importance into not just prop tech but also technology in general. One of the most important parts that we have in IQI is basically like Juwai IQI is basically our ability to put out VR and 360 videos and everything out for our properties. But not only that, but we're also doing the same thing for Juwai IQI. We're going to put in like a function that will be coming soon to make it able for every one of you to be able to put in like VR capabilities for your property in the near future. So that's a really cool thing. Okay.
So thanks, Sherry. I got the impression Asia was the biggest hit list of clients, people coming to my vacation from Europe, so want to make sure they do see my listing. Yes, if they have a Juwai account, they will be able to see it no matter where they are coming from. Now, most of our, as I said, most of our investors are sitting in China, but they are scattered across the globe. So as I said, as long as they have a Juwai account, they should be able to see
even if they don't,
where
like, I
they're
mean,
listed.
for them to be listing, they actually do need to get the account. But even if they don't, they can just go in and like just give them the website, give them the link, and they'll just jump in and start looking. And depending on who you're trying to target, that's also important. Like you can direct it to be mostly targeting Europe if that's where you think your clientele are from, and the keywords will allow you to like be able to, because the good thing about it is that each country is listed with their own listing. So there are enhancement product that you can use to be able to boost those product up, which we'll be talking about those in a bit. But just to jump in, there is something called hot properties and property recommendations, which if, for example, if you're selling in Canada, it's just like Google. It'll literally bring two properties in the top corner of the listing, and then every 5 property you have another one which is another enhancement product which puts your property there as well. So people will be able to see yours with those enhancement products no matter what.
That is awesome to hear, Sherry.
Oh, that's great. We have another Juwai IQI user. Well, great. Well, very good. Glad to have you in the family, Sherry.
Well,
awesome. Well, that was a nice one. So Another question that I wanted to ask you, basically, what type of packages do we currently offer? Which is, I think, good for Sherry as well to know.
Yeah, sure, for sure. So we do actually have a variety, and if you just go onto the Juwai account, you don't need to sign up for anything. Just create a free account, and you'll be able to see all the packages that we have available. Now, I'll just give you a brief rundown. For example, we have the Asia Pro 300, and that essentially allows you to list 300 different properties in the span of one given year, right? And I'm not saying it's unattainable. It is really good value for money, but we realize that a package such as this is probably better spread across a team of agents, or an agency rather. I mean, we all want to be great agents, but how many agents can say I've listed 300 properties in 1 year, right? I honestly don't know if that's ever been done.
No, that's I mean, we do have some here though. We have some really cool. Yeah, I could name a few, but I don't know if they want me to name
them. Sure. But for a more realistic approach, we realized that we needed something a little more tailor-made for an individual agent, right? So what we came up with was the Asia Pro 10. Now, all of these packages will give you certain basic features. They'll give you an X number of floor plans and an agent profile page, a company profile page, et cetera, et cetera. But what the Agent Pro 10 effectively gives you is the ability to have 10 active listings for any given calendar year, from the time you start to the time that the calendar year is over. It gives you 20 pictures. We all know pictures speak louder than words, and we're basically giving you 20 of them, right?
Especially for a visual person like me.
Yes, 2 floor plans per property, 150 English words per property that are going to be translated, not by Google Translate, but by very human and very real life translators and copywriters, who are also going to be translating your agent profile page and your company profile page to make sure that you, as an agent, get pushed and your name gets pushed to reach a global network of investors. Now, at Juwai IQI, we're not just about listing, right? You can just go on Kijiji if you just simply want to list. But our objective is to, as I said, push you and your company name and your brand name out there so that you are recognized not just as a local agent, but as a global realtor.
Exactly. No, honestly, I find a lot of the times I see real estate companies tell us oh, but we are already doing so well, we're selling so well in this market, in the local market, why do I need to go abroad? But the thing is, you have to also realize, is that all you want, to just sell locally? I mean, if that's what you do want, that's by all means, please do it. I mean, that's your prerogative, but if you are a company, the only way for you to go is not just to stay stagnant, it's just for you to go up as well. So the best way for you to do that is to go outbound, get those outbound investments. So anywhere come on, if you're thirsty and there's water, there's a trickle of water coming in the corner, sure, you can go and take it, but if you see a waterfall right in front of that, why would you not go there? I don't get it. That just it's something for me that I don't understand. But
I love the analogies coming from you.
I mean, seriously, it's to trickle, and then you're just I'm okay with this,
right?
Why? And so, Artie, you did say we have professional copywriters, which is super important, because a lot of people can translate, from English to Chinese or vice versa. But the thing is, these copywriters have marketing skills. They're well trained in both digital marketing and marketing in general, in terms of reaching out and to people. So they will literally do the marketing side of your language for you. There's no language barrier. In fact, thanks to these people and thanks to Juwai IQI, it makes it easier for you to be able to do your deals with these investors, because you have 2 times of the sales power with this language barrier being taken away. So that's really cool, and I love that. And I think what we also need to mention to them is about because they want to talk to their client, but
for sure,
they're worried. So do they also do translations for these conversations?
Absolutely. So every time your client wants to make contact with you, they will send a message via their own version of WhatsApp, which is WeChat, and as you very rightfully said, and so that message will then get translated by these translators and by these copywriters and that message will then reach you in English. And then vice versa, when you need to respond to them, you will respond in English. That message will get translated into Chinese or Mandarin or whatever language they speak and given to them.
Yes, exactly correct. And of course,
Google Translate here. I mean, it does a decent job at a lot of the time.
Most other languages though, like I mean, like the funny part is like every time I put like languages like Chinese or Korean or Japanese, or like a few other languages that like have like reverse or like something like that. So when I do get the translation and I show it to my Chinese friend, and they're just looking at it like, yeah, that does not make sense at all. Just like how you shouldn't get inked by someone that doesn't know Chinese, because then that thing that you think says like strong dragon will also mean chicken soup. So, okay. So that being said, could you tell us about some of the standard features, between these packages, by the way? Because when I want to go and buy something, I want to know what are the standard stuff that these things have in common, so I can make my decision based on what is it,
Sure. So as I said, just going back to the 20 pictures per property, the 2 floor plans per property, the 150 words per listing that you are able to insert in English. And after that, you have your company profile page, your agent profile page. Now, as these packages increase, you do have the options for things like sub-agent profile pages. So let's say you are co-listing with someone else because you don't have that listing capacity and you therefore want to share it with someone. The sub-agent profile page will become available for your co-listing agent as well. I do want to stress that these packages are customizable. So let's say you want the Asia Pro 10, but you want maybe one agent profile page. Send us an email. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can come up with.
For sure.
And I do want to stress that no matter what package you buy, hot leads, hot out of the oven, are always going to be at your doorstep.
Yeah, that's true. That's
we in the real estate world know that time is money, right? I mean, I think you and I both know that better than many.
Oh my God, yes, it is.
And no one has the time of day or the patience to sift through an Excel sheet that has 50,000 leads and just their names and numbers, and you just start cold calling saying, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? No, we have done all this work for you. Exactly. We've done all that work for you, and we only push hot leads towards when I say hot leads, I mean those who have expressed genuine interest in the properties that you have available. They're ready, they're able, and they're willing to do business. They really do form the economic demand for the property that you have listed.
Exactly. And the good part is that because of all these data that data is king, we know that, right? So the reason we have such a good understanding of what these people want, or what these investors want, is because we've gathered so much data over the years from every different country that we're in, from every different demographic that is interested in the property. So all this data assists us in being able to tackle the right side, the right investors. And even then, when we do get these leads, we filter them through to make sure that when it comes to you, it's someone that wants to talk business.
Absolutely. No, and if I just go off of what you were saying about with the kind of data that we are able to accumulate, just to give you an example, in 2018, we noticed that the outbound international investment inquiry from China reached the tune of about $1.3 billion. And we were able to dissect that and tell you, okay, it's $1.3 billion to Canada. Now we're in Canada. Well, for starters, $780 million, or around that figure, went towards the province of Ontario. And we were able to go a step further. $580 million went just towards the city of Toronto. So as you said, Dante, data is king. And the great thing about Juwai is that we're not only able to tell you where this money is coming from, but more importantly, where is it going? Where do these investors want to spend their time, their money, and their investment? And just talking about China for a second, it really is coming from less than 1% of their population. It's about 0.16% of their population. But it's this 0.16% that has about 9 trillion USD worth of investable asset between them. So if you want to get in on this, you really need not just a listing portal, but also a market research tool, a database, such as what Juwai has to offer you.
Exactly. And the cool part about this is that a little other thing that I wanted to tell you guys is that if you're going through Juwai, if that country also has, IQI and Juwai IQI together, they're one of those 18 countries that it is, like, and we're expanding more and more because like we're really on a fast pace, just going to expand even more. Certain countries that allow you to have like, basically like citizenships and things like that, like Turkey, Portugal, like, all these different countries, we are able to like, assist that person, the investor, in acquiring these kind of citizenships. So like you have both the sides of it, like, immigration and all together. So think about how good that's gonna be. All right. That's a good one. All right, for sure. Thank you so much, Sherry. We're really happy to have you in the family. Take care. All righty. So, Artie, let's talk about how the people can reach you. That's very important.
Sure. Oh yeah, of course. How about we just end the show with no contact?
Yeah, like okay. I mean, we do have everything down there, but we just need to make sure people know that that's
sure,
where you come.
So if you want to give us a call, the number is 905-564-0188 or 647-669-9222. Both are Canadian numbers. Or if you're inquiring from outside of Canada, just feel free to send us an email. You can either email myself, Ardavan, at juwaiiqi.com, or you can email info@iqicanada.com. Either way works, and we are more than happy and available to answer any questions that you may have.
100%, 100%. Don't be hesitant of like asking anything, because we're just like we're very open. We're a very open company, and our culture is all about being happy, working hard, and enjoying life. So we're very positive. So just give us everything you got. We really are, though.
That we are.
That we are, like, especially the fun part. We do have a lot of fun.
Look at us, sure.
Exactly. We're selling stuff, people. All righty. So thank you so much, Artie. This was a really good session, I think. And of course, a big welcoming to Sherry as well, for joining us. And of course, this has been a very fruitful as always. And I think we are going to be doing some really different stuff coming on next month. So be tuning in for that one as well. That being said, thank you, Artie.
Thank you very much, Dante. It's always a pleasure. Oh, I am super excited for next week. Do you want to tell me why?
Okay, you tell them first, because I think.
Sure. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's really thanks to your support and your viewership that we're able to go this far. But next Tuesday actually marks the 100th straight IQI Canada Evening Talk episode that we have done. So we're not entirely sure what's going to happen, but it is going to be a really special episode, and we would really encourage all of you to tune in at the exact time will be announced. It's either going to be sometime between 6 and 7:30, but the exact time will be announced. But do stay tuned and do log in next Tuesday at around this time for the 100th straight IQI Canada Evening Talk episode.
Oh, that's gonna be crazy! I can't believe it's 100 now.
It's already been 100.
Wow, I can remember, like, the time when we started, like, talking about like doing this show, and like, it's crazy for me to think that we've already done 100 of these shows now. Wow, pat on the back for all of us. But yeah, like, you should have told me you were gonna say, so I could bring some firecrackers and everything, like, fireworks in the back when you're telling me. StreamYard, if you're listening, you should put some effects. Alrighty then. Well, that's very awesome. So please tune in to next week for our 100th episode. I'm super excited for it as well. So let's see what's going on there. We've got probably some good stuff for you guys in store. That being said, Artie, once again, thank you so much for joining me again this morning, and our side, and of course evening on your side. And of course to everyone out there, whether you're from Canada or any other of the countries around the world, around the globe, we'd like to thank you so much for taking the time to join us this morning, evening, afternoon, whichever it is in your time zone. And if you are interested in joining for any of these Juwai packages, please let us know. We're more than happy to assist you every step of the way, especially our AM team is amazing. So that being said, always remember, no matter what in life, it's always important for you to go forward. So if you're listening to this and you're going through something, you feel like, you're down or anything like that, don't worry, it's just temporary. It will go away. And the most important part is you and your growth. And that is the most important, crucial part in your life. So don't let anything in your life, no matter how negative, take you down, no matter what. That being said, thank you so much for joining IQI Canada's Evening Talk. My name is Dante Azarmi, and our awesome, there we go. I did it right.
Yeah.
And of course, the awesome Ardavan as well. So thank you so much, and bye-bye.
Take care, everyone. Thank you so much, Dante.
You're most welcome.